Cornerback, I have a situation. Somebody tried to kill me.
Jack, is work okay?
Yeah.
There's always like a very interesting relationship between the world and America, is that oftentimes you'll find hostility is not the right word, but often a sense of, well, why did you guys do this? As if I, as an American citizen, had a direct participation in Guantanamo or whatever. But also, simultaneous to that, there is a proliferation of American media. So they're also at the same time listening to American music. They drink Coca-Cola. They wear Levi's. I say they as these people that I've encountered. So I always find that America has a very interesting place in the world, and people's relationship to what it means to be American and is very complicated.
You know, you sold this as an office job. You're not just an analyst anymore. You're operational now.
Classically, Jack Ryan is an American patriot, but I thought that in 2014 it was really interesting to look at what that word meant and how someone who is intelligent and introspective and worldly and cognizant of what's happened in the past, let's say 12 years, how does that affect his relationship with governmental organizations?
Victor Cherevin is unpredictable.
You Americans like to think of yourselves as direct. Perhaps you are just rude.
Perhaps you're just touchy.
To make a big hero, you need a formidable foe. And so Ken playing essentially a Russian oligarch was a really interesting, I think, created that foe. But what happened is, as you went along, you realized, you know what, he was doing exactly what he thought was the patriotic thing to do. And so in that way, you started saying to yourself, you know, quick to judge other people's motives. Maybe you ought to look a little bit, you know, you may not like the methodology that he employs, but his motivation behind it has a certain purity as well.
Partnerships are delicate, Mr. Ryan. Sometimes they end violently.
If they're both patriots and they're both working in the national interest, is there any hope for world peace ever?
Worthy to have had this conversation directly, Jack could and should be asking Cherevin, well, surely this version of patriotism is misplaced if love of country also involves hatred and attack on other countries. Surely we need to redefine what patriotism is.
Now where is she?
Got her.
Jack, send me a ping from yours. Southwest on Kashirsko-Strasse. It's 1 kilometer from you.
It's a tribute to the kind of quiet guys backstage working on intelligence. And I wondered if that was something that you were particularly keen to do now with a lot of bad press for the intelligence services.
I find it amusing, actually. I think it's, I mean, really, what are they supposed to be doing? My experience, having done actually a lot of movies that have to do with spies, is the more you meet, the more you realize they are motivated by a very pure motivation. You know, sometimes that leads them astray.
It's particularly difficult nowadays with the sort of plethora of information gathering techniques, and the world is such a wide open place with the internet. It must be very, very hard to be absolutely black and white in the world that they live in today.
You think this is game, Jack?
They will bring us to our knees without even firing a shot.
There's a very real scenario here where we don't get out of this alive.
We are compromised.
If you find the truth, will you believe it?
At least from the American point of view, there's a, you know, overt declaration, or at least a kind of acknowledgement of the degree to which they may believe that in the world of realpolitik spying is required, and to an extent this is not something Russia would appear to wish to address at this stage. And of course they're in such a, the world of Russian politics is so interesting, as Mr. Putin has gone from, you know, he leapfrogged from president to prime minister to president in ways that seem to cast a little interesting and ambivalent light on that political system. And around him are these people like Sherevin, blurrily connected figures with hard to understand ownerships perhaps of major large national utilities, not in government but close to government. It makes both of them wary, I suppose. I would imagine America doesn't entirely understand who or what they're dealing with, and perhaps Russia likes it that way.
What the hell is going on here? Sometimes the ones closest to us are the ones we should trust the least. We all have our secrets.